From TV Africa, this is newspaper analysis, Thursday, 9th of November 2022. I'm your host, Regina Mwangi. On our first story, yesterday we saw that the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, was in the country, and they made some initiatives and some big plans and deals with the president of Kenya, William Ruto. And one of them was, he said no visa requirement for Kenyans eyeing South Africa. So South Africa has removed visa requirements for Kenyans traveling to South African nation for up to 90 days, starting January next year, reciprocating similar preferential treatment for its citizens by Nairobi. South Africans have since 2017 been able to visit Nairobi without a visa for up to 90 days. President William Ruto and his South African counterpart, Cyril Ramaphosa, yesterday witnessed an agreement that could end decades of complaints from Kenya on immigration policies by the Southern African country. Former President Uhuru Kenyatta initiated talks for visa-free travel between the two countries when he visited South Africa in 2016. The new visa agreement means that Kenya and Africa for business or tourism. I think those are good initiatives that they made, and I pray that they are going to be implemented. SGR saga. The dirty details Transport CS Murkomen did not disclose. So the contracts for the standard gauge railway SGR were signed in a record 2 weeks from the day a feasibility study was approved, in spite of the magnitude of the project and the huge financial obligation the government was placing on its citizens. This and the fact that Kenya Railways Corporation, KRC, experts dismissed and rejected the initial feasibility study is contained in commercial contracts that the government failed to disclose, even as it claimed to have made public all the contracts related to the SGR. The undisclosed contracts that the nation has obtained were signed towards the tail end of the Mwai Kibaki administration and accelerated by the Jubilee regime immediately after taking power, despite a sharp protest from various government agencies and certain quarters within KRC. As it is, the Kenyan government cannot disclose or release the contents of these contracts, courtesy of non-disclosure clauses placed on all of them without the approval of the China Exim Bank that financed the construction, and the China Roads and Bridges Corporation, CRBC, which was the executor. Now, each party understands to maintain the commercial confidentiality of any information, data or document which it gains during the performance of this contract, and not to make such information, data or document available to any third party, reads the confidentiality clause on all the contracts. So those are some of the dirty details that Murkomen did not disclose. During the regime of Mr. President, the former president of the Republic of Kenya, there are many deals that had been planned by the current president, William Ruto. But again, when the handshake came in, we saw that most of the deals, they went, underwater. None of them were fulfilled, none of them were implemented, even the plans they had made. So I think it's the high time those deals should be, unrevealed and made implemented for the sake of the country. Now, praying for rain, may God make it happen. We are in a large circular clearing arranged by low mud, huts, and a brushwood fence. It's very dusty and very hot. A circle of men kneel in the dust. One of them is chanting. It sounds like a prayer. What is he saying? I asked my guide, John, who has brought me for a cultural visit to this Maasai village on the boundary of Amboseli National Park. He's praying for ancestors and he's praying for rain, I'm told. At every pause in the chant, the kneeling men intone the word Nai. I'm encouraged to do likewise. The air reverberates with the word. It's strangely moving. What does Nai mean? I ask. May God make it happen, comes the reply. In Amboseli in late 2022, the need for God to make rain happen is severe. The drought that has afflicted the area is the worst since 2009. There has been no rain for a year. The entire park and the halo of conservancies that encircle it is one huge dust hole. dust devils as high as skyscrapers. Well, across it, the entire landscape has turned monochrome. No surprise, the word Amboseli means the place of salty dust in the Maasai. Actually, the country is facing a lot of drought in most of the areas of Kenya. So I think the prayer can make a difference for those believers, for those who believe in God. We hope that rain can come. Now, revealed sleuths had found missing car before Pakistan journalist was shot dead. Now we come back again now to this story. It seems never to end. And I'm wondering, I'm longing for the day this story will end, because we have talked about it for a long time. Now, fresh details have now emerged from the death of Pakistan journalist Mr. Ashad Sharif, who was allegedly shot dead by officers attached to the General Service Unit GSU, who were manning a roadblock along Magadi Road in Kajiado. By the time Mr. Sharif was being shot dead, sleuths attached to Pangani police station had already recovered a Mercedes-Benz registration number KDJ 700F that had been reported missing on Sunday, October 23rd of 2022 by a man identified as Mr. Douglas Wainaina Kamau. In a statement penned by the father concerning the matter, and which is not our possession, in our possession, by 9:30 p.m., Mr. Kamau had been reunited with the son at Total Petrol Station in Kiserian. This was 30 minutes before Mr. Sharif was shot dead, and a report filed at the Magadi police station. The vehicle had been reported missing at Pangani police station a few minutes past 7:20 p.m. and it was recorded under occurrence book OB number 7023-10-2022. The details of the report show that Mr. Kamau had gone to Ngara Market and left his son inside the vehicle, but when he returned, he never found him. The car was also missing. Now, I then requested to see the officer commanding station, who then referred my matter to the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, that is DCI Immediate Action. Mr. Kamau said. It is then that Mr. Kamau was accompanied by two DCI officers, only identified as Mr. Kaberia and Mr. Obiero, to trace the vehicle. We then went towards Kiserian, where the signal of the vehicle showed it was heading to, and at 9:30 p.m. the son identified as Duncan Wainaina Kamau, who had ignored his calls for more than 2 hours, called him and informed him that he was safe. When asked where he was, Duncan said that he had only decided to rush and see his wife and mother. The father then told him to drive to Total Petrol Station in Kiserian, and in a few minutes the son had already arrived. Police ordered them to drive back to Pangani police station. This is quite a long story. I'm not even going to read all of it. But earlier we saw yesterday in The Nation that the Pakistan government said this was a targeted murder. It was not a mistaken identity. And now we have new details that have come up with them. They have come up with new details and new news about the case. So I think we cannot yet make conclusions. We need to know what is what and who is who. Because if we make conclusions, then again other investigation and other stories will come up. But until then, we just pray for honesty between the case. And we pray that the details will be found to be true. Now, Malindi family in shock as a king's body arrives in Kenya with missing body organs. A family in Malindi, Kilifi County is puzzled after the body of their relative was brought back to Kenya from Italy with missing internal organs. A postmortem conducted at the Malindi Referral Hospital mortuary revealed in the body of Amani Justin Luwali was missing vital organs including the heart, major blood vessels, kidneys, eyeballs, and liver. Jesus. Mr. Luwali's elder brother, James Carrera, an Italian man and the two had adopted